Hi, I'm Cameron, and I felt like making a video. Crazy. Is this where we're at now? I'm just making videos for fun now? That's crazy. Um, it is like, oh jeez. It's like 4 p.m. ish. I haven't checked the time. It's probably not 4 p.m. It's probably closer to like 4:37 or something like that. Um, and I was supposed to write today, like for a book, right? Because I quit my job to write a book. That was the plan. Um, what did I do today instead? Um, I downloaded a cool program for Spotify to make it a lot better in terms of formatting for my computer over there, right over there. Yeah. Um, I I downloaded some plugins for Discord to hide a lot of the fluff and make it a lot more usable. And by usable, I mean productive. And by productive, I mean you kind of just cut out all of the little annoyances or notifications and things that every single person you've ever interacted with, excuse me, in your life are doing. And it's just kind of really condensed. Like I have a list of like I'd say like 5 or 6 people where it's like these are my go-to, these are my homies. I did that. Um, I and I formatted my book document. So I added a title page. I added a page count, and I added like a chapter thing above it. I put chapter 1 above the first section of it that I'm working on. But I didn't write anything. And yesterday, I wrote about 100 words, maybe like a quarter, half of a page, maybe. So I mean, that's still more progress than I made in the past like 5 years of working on this thing, which is any progress is still better. And I played a lot of World of Warcraft, and I listened to this really good review of Doom by this guy called Tim Rogers. It was good. I liked it a lot. I read some of his supplementary material, and it made me cry. It was really good. It was very emotional. It was very personal, and we like that. We like that. And seeing somebody else struggle to produce something makes me feel better. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's not easy. It's not like he's struggling too. No, it's just straight up not easy to do it. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. I heard advice one time, and I thought it was interesting, where it's ideally you shouldn't do anything that's difficult. You should focus on doing the things that come naturally. And that's the things that you're good at. That's like what matters and stuff like that. I think that's fair. I think a lot of like getting better at doing things is just focusing on the things that feel natural. But you can like readjust that a little bit, so that way rather than just doing the things that come naturally, that you develop the good habits to where those habits are the things that come naturally to you. I mean, we don't have to force ourselves to eat pizza. We don't have to force ourselves to go do our dailies and like Honkai Star Rail or something like that, which I haven't played, by the way. I'm a proud member of the Don't Download Gacha Games Club. I think the only one I ever did was Limbus Company. That's because this cool Japanese friend of mine, who hopefully isn't watching this right now, was like, Cameron, this game, it's peak. If you're not a fan of the words, peak fiction. He said that to me. It was that guy. He liked it a lot, so I checked it out. I don't like spending money. I'll put it that way. But why not just force ourselves to do things that we think are good for us and then reorientate our life towards not needing to force that? It just becomes the things that we want to do. That's what I was saying before about the like, oh, I was playing a game and I thought I want to go read a book instead. I got bored, you know? And I was hanging out with some people last night, and there was this one loser in there, this one big dummy in there who joined in and was being really mean to me. Like, they were like, no one asked your opinion, Cameron. No one cares. Shut up. For no reason. And, like, the old me, you know, the me I was, like, over there, when the camera was tilted, like, a little bit more in that direction, because I, you know, don't have a consistent way of setting this camera up. I feel like I would have gotten really defensive about that, and I would have, like, you know, started something, and it would have been a whole deal and stuff. I just ignored them. I just ignored it. All they want is to make me upset. If they don't exist, then they can't make me upset, you know? They're just some loser who wants to make other people feel better about it. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I was eating a grape, so I got messed up. I'm saying that. They're just somebody who needs to make themselves feel better by putting other people down. It's reflective of their insecurities if they feel the need to break me down like that. And I mean, maybe they just don't like me, and that's fine. But it's something I've noticed where, you know, with reflection and being an adult and trying not to hate myself, but I think there have been very few times in my life where somebody has ever criticized me for something that didn't come from a place of insecurity or projection or something like that, you know? I mean, I can give examples of, like, good advice that I think I've been given before where, like, people who do care about me, who want the best out of me, will, like, not literally, because people don't do this literally, but, like, pull me to the side and be like, Cameron, I think you need to, like, calm down. I think that you're, like, taking this the wrong way, or I know you're better than that. And, you know, things like that. And I think the distinction is that good advice is presented in a way that's not antagonistic. I think that you can take somebody who's doing something that's, like, objectively evil, and you can still try to correct them on that in a way that's not antagonistic. Because if you take somebody who's doing something wrong and then you make them feel like there's something wrong with them, is that going to make them feel any better? Is that going to make them want to be better? I don't think so. I think you're just making them feel justified in the way they feel that they do. Because they feel this way, they feel alienated for one way or another. And then now you're just going to go ahead and antagonize them on top of that. That doesn't fix anything. That doesn't fix anything. It's like, we just want to make sure we're not attacking you. We just want to make sure that you know. It's like, what? Why would I assume that? So, it's just one of those things, so you just kind of move past it. But I digress. It's difficult to make things. For me, I've thought about that a lot, and why is that? I have a lot of mental blocks put in place. I never really had to try that hard in school, right? So, like, in college, I'm going to say literally every single paper I ever submitted, save for one, was submitted like an hour before it was due. I feel like that's a pretty universal thing, all things considered. But I never got bad grades or anything like that. I did fine. I passed. I don't think I failed any classes in college or anything like that. But it's not really a good way to develop a work ethic. It's like, I will wait until 2 hours before this, like, 3,000 word paper is due, and I'll still submit it on time and do fine on it and stuff. So that develops the habit of putting things off until the last possible minute. Whenever I've had to go on vacation, by the way, I always pack my bag like 5 minutes before we're getting in the car. Because I know what I need, you know? Oh, on that note, check this bad boy out. It was a gift from my mom. Thank you, Mom. I love you. I think my dad might have been within earshot, so thank you, Dad. You contributed to this backpack in one way or another. I appreciate that. Um, and my brother bought this like pompous little carrying bag. You know, like I look like I'm gonna go to Egypt to like find a mask or something like that. So that's hype. I'm really looking forward to Japan. I'm definitely gonna like film stuff while I'm in Japan and share that. That's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. Um, it's like I know what I need. You just like put stuff in the bag for five minutes. It's like, what do you need? Clothes, braces, dental stuff, like shaver, toothpaste. That's it. My phone, a charger. That's like all you need. You know, you don't really need all that like crazy like preparation stuff like that too. I mean, when I was in Vegas for a week or two, I want to say it was like a week and a half specifically. I just showed up and I was like, cool. After I checked in at my hotel, I just walked around. I checked out what looked interesting. I didn't have this big like charted plan for it or anything like that. And admittedly, that may have been why I didn't enjoy Vegas very much, because I just showed up and I walked around. I didn't like actively try to like go to shows or anything like that. I was also 19 at the time. Can't do too much in Vegas while you're 19. But the thing is that like the things I would have been able to do if I was older than that, I wouldn't have liked doing in the first place. Like, I don't drink. I think gambling is marginally better than gacha games. Poker's fun. Poker's a fun game. I just don't want to spend like $5,000 folding every other round. Um, so, I don't have a good work ethic towards producing things or like holding myself to a schedule or something like that, because every instance in my life it's always been, here's the deadline, and I'm like, cool, we'll get that. And I thought about setting a deadline for myself, but the problem with that is that if I say like, okay, have this much done in 2 months, I am not going to start until 3 days before that deadline that I set. And so setting a deadline to begin with is already like a bad idea, because it's like, let's just kind of like forcing myself to keep closed-minded about that. So how does a person overcome those types of mental blocks? I don't know. I haven't figured it out. If anybody has any advice for that, I'd appreciate it. You know, advice, not just do it. Just do it is really horrible advice. It's the literal answer, but it doesn't guide anybody towards a solution. Because, I mean, I've known a lot of artists in my time. Unfortunately, I don't think I've ever been friends with an artist who didn't end up being some kind of weird sociopath who was self-centered and, you know, was ultimately doing it just to try to get laid in one way or another, I guess. But I always asked for advice, like, well, how do I get started? Like, just draw, dude. Wait, did Michael Jordan, does his like coach just say, dude, just shoot layups? Like, where's the foundational start? Like, I haven't talked about it yet, but I do want to do a video about it at some point. But with Tekken, right? I used to play Tekken a lot. There's a couple of Tekken videos on this channel that have like 2 views. But when you start somebody with Tekken, you teach them how to move. It's like there's high attacks, mid attacks, and low attacks, and there's exceptions, but don't worry about them right now. You move to the left by pressing up. You move to the right by pressing down. You move back by pressing left. You move forward by pressing right. It's that simple. You can break it down like that, and then from there, you can like start adding layers to it, where it's like you press 1 for left punch, you press 2 for right punch, 3 for left kick, 4 for right kick. There's like a foundational way of starting people off with that. Now, in the case of drawing, whenever I ask for drawing advice, it's like, oh, just do it. Or you need to study anatomy. But nobody ever like directs you towards what that means. Nobody says like, well, this is how you study anatomy. Or like, you should focus on your foreshortening or something like that. I don't have any idea what foreshortening is. It's just that the one person in my life who I trust on everything said it one time to describe their process of learning how to draw. And I would assume that it means something. I don't know, because any how to draw guide I've ever watched or read or been told verbatim by somebody else doesn't include that word. They just say, just do it, bro. It's not... You can't hold up like a math equation to somebody and tell them just to do it if they don't know how to do 2 + 2 = 4, which, because of Common Core, apparently isn't even true anymore. I don't know. I don't pay attention to this stuff because it doesn't impact me. None of that stuff that you learn in those schools impacts you because you have bad teachers. I should do a video about bad teachers. If there's a bad teacher watching this right now, you know I'm talking about you. If there's any good teachers watching this right now, thank you. I'm eating grapes, by the way. They're good. They're good. Never ate grapes. But getting into them, you know, it's like a new addiction. See that? That's how you can make like a habit, like a bad thing. Call it an addiction. You know. I'm not addicted to showering. I'm not addicted to going for walks. It's a habit. It's just like a change in perspective, you know. Yeah. So, overcoming that mental block is hard for me because my brain is like literally wired into believing that, you know, like the neural pathways in my like this smooth cranium that I have up here, right, are forged specifically towards the things that I've been doing for the past 24 years. And so that's just what I'm used to. It's just who I am at this point. So it is through the act of engaging with that, the things that I should be doing, that eventually those are going to start to, you know, unsmoothen and become more, you know, rich and vibrant and curvy and stuff like that. And that one specific like weirdo U shape that's on like the center of your I want to say it was parietal. It's either on like your parietal lobe or it's on your prefrontal cortex, like this weird like little U-shaped thing that says that you're really smart, and that nuns always have it because they do crossword puzzles all the time. I dropped a grape. No, wait. Oh, dang. Wait, where'd it go? Where did it go? Dude, come on. Oh, there it is. Cool. I got it. There's like a leaf down here too or something. Anyways, yeah. I think I have clothes down here maybe. And the grape just fell again. Come on. Okay, there we go. Cool. I'm wearing my pajamas right now. Because by gosh, it might be 4 p.m. in the afternoon, but a grown man can wear his own pajamas if he wants to. I swear. So, I think I've gotten somewhere with it. I think I've obtained some type of deep secret knowledge about how to overcome mental blocks. When writing this, I write this thinking like this is really important to me. But before, when I was like in high school and I just made like videos for fun, much like I'm doing right now, or I would like just open RPG Maker and just mess around in that for an afternoon or something like that, right? I just did that for fun. So rather than sit down and write and think like this is really serious, this is some crazy business, this is life-changing, I just have to do it for fun. You know, I have to do it for the sake of being able to say that I did it. To like take a look at that and go like, yeah, this is mine. And to be able to share it with the people who read the other stuff that I wrote, you know? When I was a kid, I used to do stuff like that all the time. I used to draw comics. There was one comic I did where a kid in the class actually like made a rip-off of it and had like the same paneling and stuff like that. And I was really mad about that at the time. As a grown man, kind of seems a little less important, but I was mad about it at the time. I would just write poetry for fun, or like write little short stories and stuff like that. Um, it's like you did those things for fun. And I mean, this story, it's like because I take it so seriously, because of my desire for it to be like the best that it can be, it's just not getting done. Because every time I sit down, I type the, and I'm like, what about they? What about them? What about when? What about why? How does this the tie into a chapter 30 pages from now? No, it's just not healthy. So, I need to change writing from being something that an educational setting made me take very seriously as something I was forced to do as busy work or just work in general. I need to consider it as being something that I enjoy doing. In the same way that I always told myself I'm never going to read a book while I am in college. And I never did. Because that's all I did all day. I would just be in like the library at like 9 p.m. or something, like 1 a.m. or something. I think the library closed at 2 a.m. I could be wrong about that. That might have just been during finals. Like, reading through these ancient, dusty tomes of like psychology studies or something like that. And that's like what I did. Or, like reading like Middle English, Latin, stuff like that. I don't know why my camera just got darker for no reason. That's scary. Dude, why did it do that? That's cool. But I mean, I read so much for class, for work, and wrote so much in analysis of that the process of reading and writing became something I didn't find enjoyable anymore. So in order to get back that enjoyment, that's why I've been trying to read more again. I know manga isn't the same thing as, like literature or anything like that, but that's like a way to ease back into it. And then from there, you just start reading more complex stories. And I think I used the phrase gaining that literacy back in terms to describe writing before, but I'd say that that's accurate. Like, you use that to gain that literacy back and kind of develop the ability to enjoy yourself again. And that's a part of the process of learning to, not hate yourself and learning to live versus learning to survive. And I want to live. I don't want to survive. So that doesn't mean, I feel like, playing World of Warcraft for 17 hours straight today, I should just do that instead of writing or exercising or something like that. It doesn't mean going along with whims or anything like that. It just means getting to the point to where I would prefer to write over doing those other things. And if I can get to a point to where I reflect on things that happened to me before and not care, then I'm already like a step of the way. If some brain stupid frothing idiot can say something dumb to try and make me feel bad, and then I can just acknowledge it mentally as this is somebody who's not worth talking to and then move on with my life, that's already better than I was before, where this person would have been my one and only true friend for 10 years. I was not good. I was not a healthy person mentally. A person like that tried to sell me cocaine one time. It was in college. That was dumb. We were like in a car after the gym or something, and they were like, "Is cocaine really that bad, Cameron?" I was like, "Yeah." It's a dumb joke. And he's like, "Well, what if I'm not joking?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, well, but Cameron, you eat McDonald's and you drink alcohol, and I was like, "No, I don't drink." But those things are legal, Cameron. What's so bad about cocaine, Cameron? I was like, "Yeah, we should just do black tar heroin then while we're at it." And he's like, "Well, that's too far." That guy, yeah. Used to hang out with people who wanted to do coke. One of my old coworkers used to smoke like 20 packs of marijuana, packs, you know, not joints, like packs of marijuana before bed, and they'd be like, dude, I just didn't get any sleep last night. I don't know what's going on. I just need another hit that'll make me feel better. So yeah, suffice to say, I think that as much as I struggle, at least I'm not addicted to meth or anything, you know? At least I'm not starving to death yet, you know? Speaking of starving to death, I ran out of grapes. So that's the symbolic time to end the video now. I hope you are having a nice day, and I hope that you enjoy watching the video. And I thank you for being you. You're cool, unless you're like doing things that are bad for other people. Unless you skip to the end of this video and don't have the rest of the context of this statement, in which case that's entirely your prerogative, but I'd appreciate it if you watched the whole thing. It doesn't matter. It's over now anyways, but I still hope you had a nice day. It's not hard to be nice to people, I suppose. Or is it? It's not. Have a nice day.